Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is KayPhnae, but all my friends call me Kay. And since you're here, you might as well stay a while because it's a Kiki over here. All right, honey, so today we are doing a little makeup and chit chat and we're getting this look. I did decide to underpaint today, so if you want to, get the tips and the tea on that, then definitely stay. I'm also chit-chatting, and we're talking about the waiting period, honey, and we know the girlies, we are not patient. We do not like to wait, but sometimes we need to, in order to become the person we're supposed to be, we gotta wait a little while. You get what I'm saying? So if you're here for the makeup or for the chit chat, make sure that you stick around and stay tuned. Hey y'all, okay, so we're about to get dressed and I was like, let's chat again. Today, I kind of want to just talk about myself and hopefully it just kind of, it resonates with somebody, honey. Today, I want to talk about the waiting period. I don't know about y'all, but I am not, when I tell you I am not a freaking patient person. I'm just not. I'm not patient at all. And I feel like if I work hard, why do I have to wait? You see what I'm saying? Like, why do I have to wait? Anybody else feel like that? Put it down there in the comments. Like, why do you have to wait? Now, like I said, I'm only speaking from my experience. Only from my experience. So I can't tell you every single thing, and I'm not a therapist or nothing like that. But what I can say is that, because I have my little nips. What I can say is that for me, the waiting period is usually 5 different steps. Yeah, usually 5 different steps. And I'm gonna put y'all in my business a little bit, and I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Now, the first step for me, again, this is all for me. The first step is to admire. Like when you're in the waiting period, you'll see, and I'll kind of talk about it from like different aspects. But like, for instance, weddings. The waiting period for getting engaged for me was the worst. It was the worst. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was the worst because was I enjoying my relationship? Absolutely. But I felt like I'm looking online, I'm seeing all these other people, like they're all getting engaged, like the engagements are like real cute and cutesy and all this extra stuff, and I'm just kind of like, well dang, like I thought I was happy, and then I got on here and I'm looking at these folks and I'm just really liking what I'm seeing. Now, did it really change like the way I felt in my relationship, like admiring these other people? No, but it did kind of put, a battery in my back to like go and be like, hey, what you waiting on? Like, you don't like me or something? Like all these other people, like, you don't like me or something? It definitely prompted me to go ahead and do that. And looking back on it, sometimes you can jumpstart your own waiting period because you too busy admiring other people's situation instead of worry about your own self. Because when I think back on it, and when I was kind of, like I said, I got a battery in my back now. I'm like, hey, you don't like me? Baby, the wedding that we are planning now, if that man would have proposed to me back then, we could not afford that. We cannot afford it. And that's it. That's the wedding that I want. So how am I out here just forcing or trying to force somebody to make a big decision for us, and we're not even ready? We are not even ready. So that was the first thing that just kind of got to me. Now the second step, because I'm admiring, I'm seeing everybody else, then I just get angry. I don't know about y'all, but when I feel like I'm in a waiting period for something that I've worked hard for, I just get so upset. Right now, I'm kind of in the process of trying to, okay, y'all know how this works. I'm gonna come back after I get these brows done, okay? Hold up. Okay, we back. So like I was saying, right now I'm in the process of like figuring out what I want to do with my career. Like, do I want to stay put? Do I want to, try to advance where I am? Like, try to, aim a little bit higher? Like, that's where I'm at. So I decided to, go ahead and start applying for different jobs or whatever, still in education, but, a little bit higher. And I will say this, and I don't mean this. I mean this in the most humblest way. I am very, very qualified for every position that I apply for. Personally, that's how I feel. And I don't just feel that, I know that, because every single thing on the job qualifications I have plus more. So I am definitely more than qualified for those jobs. And I've gone on a few interviews and I have not gotten any of the jobs. And that really, to me, that really angered me. Because like I said, I'm a person that feels like if I work hard, if I go to school, I get the qualifications, I get the experience that I need. I come to you, I interview, I have a bomb ass interview, and I know because everybody's telling me that, then why, like, if 1 + 1 is 2, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense to me. And that's the part where, I start to get a little upset, because I'm just like, dang, all of this is happening. I'm doing everything right. The people in the interviews are telling me that I'm doing everything right. But at the same time, when it's time to call me back, these same people that told me that I'm doing a good job are not calling me back, and I'm confused. So I'm like, are these people lying to me? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't like it. It really infuriates me, because it's like, if I didn't do a good job, tell me I didn't, so that I can fix it for next time. Because there has to be a way for me to fix it for next time. And it usually makes me angry, because it's like, when I find out who does get the job, it's always somebody who's already had that same job, and they're either going back to it or just switching to the same position but in another school. And I feel like, honestly, if you've already had the job, you should not get it over somebody who is not, doesn't have the experience but still qualified. You have already got that experience. Why you still like it? You get what I'm saying? I don't like it. And that just kind of infuriates me. And that leads me to my next one, is jealousy. I know jealousy is a big thing right now, where people are like, oh, well, the girl got on here and said she's jealous of her friend. I think it's different realms to being jealous. And I think that sometimes you don't even know that you are jealous until you up out of it. I'm for real. I don't think you know that until you're up out of it, girl. I think you just be like, like, for instance, I'm sitting up here and I'm like, the person who got the job, they shouldn't have got it. I should have got it because I did this in the interview. I did that. I wasn't in them people interview. I wasn't in those people interview. I don't know what they did. I don't know if that person has been working behind the scenes to do other stuff to be qualified for the job or not. I don't know. What I do know is that they got it and I didn't. I know that part. They got it, I didn't. I know that part. But like I said, it's just, it's hard. It's hard. Now, the number 4 for me is and I feel like this is one of those like 12 steps type of situations, but I mean, technically it is. technically it is. But number 4, and also I know y'all see me cutting this thing off of my wig. If you want to lay your lace, and you don't want like any gunk to get on your lace, now granted, this wig is a little, she knows she's been around the town for a little minute, but if you don't want any gunk to get on your lace, put this band on first, because it's, first of all, it's clean and it absorbs any oil that you may have. I'm an oily girl, so I need everything to hit me out with that one. But put that on first, then put your band on, and it won't come out very cakey. Tip for the girls. But yeah, I had to admit that I had lost. So admission, I listen, it was one of those things where it's just like, okay, all right, I mean, I didn't get it, so and so got it, it's okay, it's time for me to move on. Now, after I move on, that's where so after I'm just admitting to myself that, like, it is what it is, they got it, I can't, I can't change that. That's when, now personally, this me, everybody may not feel that way, but that's when I get to my last step, which is, going to God in prayer. I am a believer. Nah, I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't believe that I am higher than anybody else. I believe that God and Jesus Christ, that's who judges, not me. But I am a believer, which means that I know that a lot of these things that I'm stressing about, if I just take them to God, I'm gonna be okay. So at the end of it, and I'm literally talking about the whole job situation, at the end of it, I just realized, like, what's for me is for me. Nobody else will be able to be overly qualified for a job that's mine. Nobody else will be able to interview better for a job that's mine. Nobody else will be able to do that. And in my head, it just went to, well, they can't do that because, well, they can do that with this job because this job is theirs, And that's all right. That's all right. I'm cool. I'm all right. And of course, it takes a little minute for me to be all right and for me to be cool because, when you're in situations like that, you get invested. You start, well, I don't know about y'all, but I start to, research things about the school before I even go on the interview. I'm researching things about the school, seeing what they have going on, seeing what type of programs they have, looking at the different leaders that they have at the school. I'm looking up all of those things. So now I'm invested in the school just to find out I didn't get the position. And it's, it's just a big letdown. And once I go through all of my stages of the waiting period for that, it's just, I pray about it and then I'm at peace. Now, am I naive enough to say that, well, once you pray about it, nothing ever pops back up? And No, I'm not naive. I'm also not inhumane. Like, I get it. Oh, hold up, something in my eye, y'all. I just wash my lashes, so anytime I wash my lashes, they sometimes go rogue before they get to drying and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, things are going to happen. You are going to be sad because you're going to have to mourn, that idea that you already thunk up in your head. You got to mourn that. But after you mourn, you got to move on, because I feel like once you move on, you're okay. When you don't move on, that's when you end up being that person. So that goes to the whole, the TikTok conversation about jealousy and, people end up envying what other folks have and all of that stuff. That's where it comes from me, in my opinion. All of that craziness that people do, it comes because they don't move on. It's normal for you to want something so bad, see somebody else get it, get a little jealous, get a little angry about it, try to, start comparing yourself to that person, that's normal. But once you get to the point where you've done all that in private, because don't you take your butt online and do all this extra, or to your best friend or to whoever you want to talk to, once you've done all that and you get it out your system, baby, move on. Move on, because if the opportunity for you was yours, it never would have went to them. It never would have went to them. I am a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to y'all right now, because when I tell you it's hard, and not being patient in a waiting period, oh my gosh, it will humble you to a point of no return, because by the time you get it, it won't, to me, if you make the waiting period more so about the struggle of everything, by the time you get what you actually want, you're not even gonna appreciate it. You're not gonna appreciate it, because you're gonna be so doggone tired of trying to fight against something, that by the time you get it and you're able to sit and relax and live in it, you're gonna be like, I don't want this. I thought this is what I wanted. Because you took the energy. You took the energy that you had, planned for yourself and all that, because you're trying to, so I just, Nope. So I'm just gonna, and the crazy part is, this is stuff that I know. This is stuff that I know, because I am like I said, I don't like to wait. I'm very impatient. I don't like to wait. I'm one of those people that if I'm looking online for something, it can be December 1st. If I see something online and I really, really like it, instead of waiting for somebody to get it for me for Christmas, I go and order it on December 1st. Because I am just so impatient. And I also think that me being impatient and going through a waiting period is kind of highlighting a lot of the flaws that I didn't know I had. So like, for instance, I knew that I wasn't patient, but I didn't know how I felt about control. That was something that just popped up. And I'm like, wait a minute. Talking to my therapist and all that stuff. That just popped up, girl, because what you mean I am feeling this way because I have a lack of control in the situation? I didn't even know I cared about stuff like that. For a long time, I didn't have control over a lot of things that I had going on, and boom, that was the problem. You see what I'm saying? So like, when you think about these things, these periods that you are in life, do you want to go through them? Absolutely not. Because I want my job and I want it now. I want my wedding and I want it now. I want my marriage and I want it now. However, in order for you to fully, be ready to enjoy those things, it's a lot of things that have to be uncovered. It's a lot of things that have to be uncovered. It's a lot of things that you have to work on. And I feel like until we go through the waiting stage, we don't even know what those things are that we need to be working on. You get what I'm saying? We don't know. So I just think that we have to be more patient. And I hate to even say stuff like that, because I hate it. But the more patient we are, and the more willing we are to be patient, I feel like the better the situation comes out. Y'all see this? Y'all see that pigment? Crazy. Put it on your hand first, girl. It's gonna do too much if you put it on your face first. But whenever I sit and think about like all the things that I've been blessed with, I understand that had I been blessed with that one thing when I wanted to be blessed with it, I would not know how to handle that. I would not know how to handle that. I would not know how to handle it. I wouldn't have the tools to handle it. So I'm going to take this time right now to just sit and actually see what it is Like just whatever I'm supposed to be learning in this life right now that has me not being able to move on to the next step. I just wanna learn it. I'm gonna say that. I just want to learn it. I just want to sit and absorb whatever it is I need to absorb, because if I know anything about my God, I know that I can go through hell and be in something where I'm just completely just at my wit's end, and the minute I think I'm at my wit's end, that's where my blessing and my happy ending comes in at. And when I tell you I'm not lying. That's why I literally always tell my friends, like, yeah, I serve a God of 1159, because when I tell you, he just did at the very, I'm talking about, yeah, that's when, yeah. So it's that waiting period. I don't know. That waiting period, it's tough. It's tough. And I think it's also tough because you experience so many things in your waiting period that people equate to things you shouldn't be experiencing. So like to admire somebody else, that's kind of looked down upon. Like you're not supposed to like nobody else. If you think about like social media, it's okay for you to like somebody that everybody else like, but those people that grew up in your neighborhood and all that stuff, it ain't cool to like they stuff. Especially if they still up and coming. It's not cool to like their stuff like that, so people don't. It's not cool for you to admire the person that you know. That's not cool. It's not cool for you to be jealous. It's not cool for you to be angry because somebody else got it. Those things are not cool, but those things are normal. And it's not about you experiencing them. It's how do you react to others when you experience them. It's okay for you to be upset because you don't have something and still be happy for the next person. And I think that's why, and I don't know, I could be wrong. And again, I'm saying this from a very humble place, but I think that's why now that I'm going through my wedding, my bridal era. Now that I'm going through my bridal era, I think that's why I can literally like sit back and relax. When I tell you my bridal era has been perfection. Of course, there's always some hiccups, but I think it's been so good because when it was everybody else's turn, whether I was sad because it wasn't me or not, I always showed up. I always gave them the best that I had to offer. So like, and I'm being honest. I did not care. Where they needed me, what they needed me to do. It did not matter. What mattered was they asked me to be a part of their special day, so I'm gonna show up. Now, granted, am I still going through these emotions and all this extra stuff? Of course, because I'm human. But am I still showing up for my friend? Yeah. Am I finding a way to show up for my friend? Yes. Am I letting my friend know every step of the way, like, girl, I'm happy for you, but I'm real jealous? No, because that's so backhanded. So no, I did not. But I showed up. I did what I was supposed to do. I was a good friend. At least I think so. So I think that's part of it too. So it's not about, if you have those feelings or anything like that, because everybody has the feelings. Everybody. And if somebody say they ain't never had those feelings, they're a liar. They're a liar, pants on fire. Because everybody has had those feelings before. But it's about, what do you do when you have them? Like how do you react to others that have something that you feel like should be yours? Like, how you do that? How do you react when people need you to be a part of something and you feel like instead of having this role, you should have had something bigger. How do you react then? Because I feel like that's when that's when character start to sneak up in there. Because again, everybody's gonna feel those feels, but are you gonna let those feels take over you? Just because you're in your waiting period, it doesn't mean that your friend is. And if that's your friend, show up for them. How you show up for them could be different, but be honest with them and let them know, hey, like, I know that this is not probably what you want, but this is the way that I can show up for you. This is all I got. You know, this is all I got. I'm gonna do the best I can, but this is all I got. And let them decide if that's enough. You know, let them decide if that's enough. But don't allow you being in your, oh, here we go, because we had the end. Don't allow you being in your waiting period take away from you showing up for your friends. You still being happy at work, even though you like the job, but maybe you wanted a promotion. Girl, I told you cannot breathe. You cannot breathe with that spray. But yeah, so just make sure that you know that it's a waiting period for a reason, which means you're waiting, but you won't be waiting for long. And the same way you're going to want to be celebrated when it's your turn is the same way that the people who are in it right now, that's how they want to be celebrated. So think about it that way. And I know that's what I do to help myself, because I promise you, y'all, I be sitting back like, bro, I work so hard. I do this, I do that, I do that. But when it's not your time, it's not your time. And that's okay. That's okay. Go through the steps. Go through the motions, go through whatever it is that you got to go through. And when you're done, still be there to support the people that are in it right now. Because when it's your turn, it's going to be like 27 Dresses. Have y'all ever seen that movie, 27 Dresses? She did all the extra stuff, was in all them 50,000 weddings. But when it was time for her to have her wedding, every single person whose wedding she was in showed up for her. And she literally had a line of 27 women behind her because she had supported so many people. They showed up to support her. Let's be like her, okay? The waiting period is gonna be tough. You're gonna need somebody that you can call and moan and groan and complain to. But it's a waiting period, sis. It's gonna be over eventually, okay? It's gonna be over eventually. All right, I'm gonna go take these down, do my lip combo, get dressed, and I'll be back to show y'all the final look. Wow. All right, y'all, so this is the final look. Lip combo is my Juvia's Place lip liner in Coffee Bean, then Juvia's Place lipstick in Muted, and then I topped it off with the Edam lip balm in the Shakira Shaved Ice, which low-key might be my favorite one. I don't know. But yeah, so this is the look. I just took down the curls, and y'all know the way to keep your curls while you're combing them out without, doing all that is to make sure you get some type of brush like this. Oh, child, the hair is still in there. My bad. But get a brush like this and just make sure that you're brushing in the direction of the curls. If you brush in the direction of the curls, then you'll be fine, honey. They won't come out. Anyway, I'm off to go have a little date with one of my favorite girls. And I'll see you girlies next time. Bye.